Hi YouTube, it's Lee, the crazy CNC guy, and this is tutorial 5, but it feels like tutorial 500 because I've done this about 500 times. Anyway, without videotaping it. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to add some tool paths and add tags or tabs in order to hold the parts down in a full sheet, 4 by 8 foot sheet of material. For production, you know? We're working with big machines. We need big tool paths. We need everything big. It's America. Whatever. All right. Here we are. I have set up my my sheets, my raw sheet goods, as in a part. I've added 2 bodies, and then I've created extrusions in order to represent the material. That's what's there. And then in the parts, I have all of my parts. And I've drawn them up and put them to, they're all parametric parts. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a job, and then we're going to add a tool path. So we're going to go to CAM. We're going to implement an add-on that I've written, and you can access that add-on through the GitHub repository link in the description. Follow along the tutorial there on how to install that. But I'm going to use that tool because I don't want to create tool paths individually for each one of these parts. And I definitely don't want to have to do it again for all of the tags. All right. So here we are. We have our parts and we have our sheets. We are in the CAM workbench. We're going to add a job. So go ahead and add the job by clicking on that little button there. And then we are going to select parts. These are going to put the parts solids into the job. I don't want to put the raw sheet solids in because I don't want to cut the perimeters of the raw sheets. When I accept the create a job, it pops up to the job edit window dialog, and we're on the setup tab. So what I'm going to do is go down to stock, use existing solid, and then I'm going to select use existing solid, and then I'm going to click here and I'm going to select my sheet. This sheet is called sheet 1. I'm going to go to output and I'm going to select my post processor. Whatever works with your machine. This works with mine. Tools, I don't need that end mill, so I need to add a rotozip that I have created. I am cutting really soft foam, so the rotozip tool works great in my 4 horsepower spindle. Rotozip, the horizontal speed moving sideways, I'm going to go 400 inches per minute. The vertical plunge rate, 90 inches per minute, and I'm going to go 12,000 RPM. Your machine might handle more or less. I have a production ready machine. It's an older machine, it's a dumber machine, but it can handle 700, 800 inches per minute on the speeds. That's really fast for a little shop machine. If you have a little desktop machine, keep your speeds low. Go start at 100 inches per minute and see how that feels with your tooling and your rigidity of machine. Okay, so we've done those tabs. We're going to hit OK. So now we have a job. And if we expand it, we have these operations, which is an empty container for operations that haven't been made yet. My goal is to make one operation for this entire sheet. Let me show you how to do it. my material right here is getting in the way of my visual pleasure. And so I'm going to go over to my model, which I'm already in that tab, and I'm going to turn the raw sheets off. Just turn it off. And now I'm in the job, and I want to add a profile cut. I just want to cut all the perimeters of all these shapes. So I'm going to hit Profile, and that's going to bring up the profile dialog for creating a profile cut in the Tasks tab. I'm going to go to the Base Geometry button, tab, window, and I'm going to add in all the geometry I want to add. And what's important with this is that if I select the top face, it's going to inject that Z level for the cut. But if I select the bottom face, it's going to inject that Z level for the cut. So I'm going to go and look at the bottom of these parts, and keep in mind that my 000 is over here. And then I'm going to control click the parts in the order that I want them to cut. Okay? So I'm going to click the first one, control, click the second, and so on, all the way through in the order that I want them to cut. Always cut from the outside in. And those. Okay, so those are all the profiles I want to cut on that sheet. I'm going to click Add. It's now put all of those profile faces that I've selected into the Base Geometry section, and I can hit Apply. And you'll notice that it has added a toolpath for each of the profiles, but it hasn't added a cut on the inside of this, and it hasn't dealt with all of these drill holes. So we go down to the Depths tab, and we confirm that our start depth is the highest. That's 1 inch. I have 1 inch material. And the final depth is 0, which is the bottom of the material. And I set that by the coordinate system. This is my origin down here. And then this bit is stepping down 0.13 inches each time it cuts. My bit can go right through all the way to the bottom first time. So I'm going to change this value by clicking on the FX and entering 54, which is a little more than 2 inches. It's millimeters. So then I'm going to click Apply, and now we see we only have toolpaths at the bottom of each of our profiles. Okay? I'm going to go to heights, and I make a bit of an adjustment on the heights because I don't like the rapids, this red line. I want that up higher than that from the material. So I'm going to click on this function, and I'm going to type in, without clearing anything, plus 0.5 and then inches. Enter. And then I'm going to hit Apply, and that raises all of my rapids. And now I'm going to click on Safe Height, which is when the red, the fast path red, starts to have a feed rate. I want that feed rate to start a little higher too. So I'm going to do the same thing and go in and hit plus 0.25 inches. And then hit OK. And then watch what happens right here on this green portion of this line. Hit Apply. So now the bit will wrap it down to here and then start a feed traverse, which is a feed plunge in this case. All right, I'm going to go back to perspective. That's viewport V, P for perspective, and zoom out. And then I'm going to hit the home button on my computer. Just hit home and it'll take you back to a reasonable view. And then I'm going to select operation at the bottom of this dialog. I have the right tool. I want to cut outside, but I want to cut counterclockwise because my machine cuts better conventional rather than climbing. If you don't know about that, you'll find out. And I want to click two check boxes down here. Process holes. This is a hole. Those circles are circles. This is a hole. This is a circle. So I want to process circles as well. And then I'm going to hit apply. And we can tell that it has added a path in each one of these holes, and it has added a path in these picture frames. You see the path on the inside there? Right here. Boop. There's a path, and there's another path inside. Okay. Added a path over here inside. They're hard to see. Then I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to extend down my operations folder, and I have one profile. That's it. That's everything cutting. Now, I don't have any control over how this is organized yet. So the FreeCAD just determines when and where and how it's going to cut. On this many parts, I want it to follow that selection that I made of the parts. I want it to go from there to there to there to there in the way that I selected the faces on the bottom. So the plugin that I've added is this right here, split profile into separate operations. With the profile highlighted, click on that button. It's going to show you all of the faces that are included, and they're all there. This will create 34 separate profile operations, one for each base geometry in the current order. Each operation will inherit all settings from the original. Now there's a little bit of a misnomer here because it's going to split this operation for any inside cut, an inside hole cut. I'll show you. So we're going to save and reopen the document, and we're going to add tags right here. Now it's still going in millimeters. I'm working in inches. If it does the math, so if I put in 12 millimeters here, it will be about a half of an inch high, and 5 millimeters wide is somewhere around about a quarter inch wide, a little shy of a quarter. Why don't we make that 8 millimeters wide? And the profile, I want it to just come up and over and down for the tab shape. So that's the tag angle. Now I'm going to hit split profile. And it's grinding away. It's creating all of the profiles, all of the cuts, all of everything. It's going to close it and then reopen it. Look at this mess. I love it. Hit close. And we have a lot of profiles here. The thing is, they are in the order of selection that I picked these parts. So if we zoom in here and I select this, you'll notice this goes to blue. Select the next one, it's the next cut. The next one, it's the next. So on and so forth. Okay. All of these red rapids, they go away when you export the job as a job. So you could export one profile at a time, or if you click job and then post process, it will link each one of the profiles in order. So it'll go, I'll show you, I don't know if I can show you. Anyway, so now we have all of our individual toolpaths. They're all there. Look at that. It's added a tag at the bottom of each of these holes. Huh. So let's correct that. See that? They're called inner, and each one has a tag. We're going to change the height of this tag to 0. Do you see how in changing that to 0 it took all that down? It's going to cut all the way down through. Alright, let's check this one. So let's highlight this and see where it is in our tree. So that's, let's see if that's all of these. That looks right. So again, I'm going to change the height of that tag to 0. And then I'm going to find some more inner. What's this one? I want tags on that one. That's this. So that this chunk won't be flying around. But look here, I've got all of these other inners here that all have tags at the bottom, and I want to get rid of them. So I'm going to click there. Inner, 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 inner. Look at this outer stuck right in the middle. Inner, shift. That's all of those. I'm going to change the height of the tag to 0. It updated all of those paths. And then I'm going to click here, and it got this path down here. And let's see, inner, 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 inner to there. And that's all of those holes. Do you see them blue? And then I'm going to change the height to 0. And all those tags went away at the bottom of those holes. This inner is this path right here. I want tags on that because I don't want that part flying around. Okay. So now I have all of my adjustments done, and I can go up to job. I am going to try and post-process this. Post, click OK, and I'm going to put this in the tutorials, sheet 1. Now let's open that up. I'm going to open it with Notepad. And it post-processed it. Yeah, see, here are the tabs. Here's a tab, here's a tab, here's a tab. Yep. So there you go. That's utilizing the add-on that I've added. I hope that's useful and helpful. I look forward to talking with you on the next one. Leave a comment if you need more direction. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. See ya. Bye.